And I'm here from the Toronto Community Mobilization Network. Thank you. It's really good to see everyone here today. So I just wanted to say a little bit about the TCMN. The TCMN was formed about 8 months ago as a way to facilitate connections and build alliances between communities from across the city and beyond to form a mass mobilization to resist the G8 and the G20. During the week that the G8 and G20 were here, we saw tens of thousands of people coming together and taking to the streets to oppose their anti-people and anti-environment agenda. To combat the war they and their policies have declared against Indigenous peoples, queer and trans people, disabled people, poor and marginalized communities across the globe. The actions of the police during the week shocked a lot of people, but for many communities in this city, these actions are just a reflection of the routine violence they face at the hands of the police. They were types of actions that poor communities and marginalized communities see all of the time.
Excuse me.
Some of us live under the illusion that these things don't happen here. But the truth is, we live in a place where the police force is given $1 billion a year, while poor people are denied access to food and necessities, and while community centers and schools are forced to shut down. We live in a place where people are considered illegal, and the cases of 500 missing Indigenous women warrant no attention, and those that condone the torture of people in other countries are sitting in the highest offices in the country. We are living, shame indeed, we are living in a place where security cameras put up on every intersection in this city in the interest of public safety have been unable to record or have footage of the brutal public beatings by police. What happened to that footage? The cameras were everywhere. This is why the TCMN fully encourages a full and binding independent inquiry about what the police did that weekend. And this is why the TCMN has launched a people's investigation. With your help, we can find and identify the cops that harassed, intimidated, arrested, and beat people. We are asking that police officers who witnessed their co-workers engaging in these acts of violence against people come forward. Take off your Black Riot uniform. Stop using your bike as a weapon. And give us some real justice, please. We're also demanding that those decision makers in government that gave the okay for these rights violations to happen be taken out of positions of power immediately and stripped of their ability to make decisions that harm people. If you have photos, if you want to submit photos and video to the People's Inquiry, go to g20.torontomobilize.org and you can find out info there. I also want to say that it's important to note that the police have not simply treated the city like a playground to test batons. They have worked on behalf of the government to criminalize dissent, as Judy Rebick was saying. And the best way to see if a democracy is working is to watch how the state treats those who exercise their rights to assemble, protest, and speak freely and critically of the state. Right now, 17 of our beloved and compassionate community organizers have been targeted because they, like the rest of us, envision a better world and work hard every day to make that better world happen. We demand that they be freed from prison. We demand that the charges against them and the hundreds of people facing bogus criminal charges be dropped. Drop the charges. We demand that the police that brought harm to those 17 and to the hundreds and hundreds of people on the streets of Toronto be held accountable and their guns and clubs taken away from them for good. The only way they legitimize themselves is with weapons. We demand that the $1 billion be cut from their budget to instead go towards the social programs that our communities want and need to be healthy and happy and safe. So we, the people who live and love and build healthy communities here in Canada, will not stand by as the police trample over hard-fought rights. We're tired of watching the state try to silence our attempts to expand those rights to include everyone who exists in our communities. And we refuse to explain what a Charter of Rights and Freedoms is to those who swear to uphold it. We're angry, we're determined, we're full of hope, and we are all in this together, and we are winning, and they know it. Thank you. as I said before, there are still lots of criminal charges to fight, and there are people wearing yellow T-shirts, kind of hanging around, who are there to talk to you if you're interested in helping us out. Thank you so much for letting me speak today.